In a peaceful village nestled among the mountains, there existed a great hermitage of Gautam Buddha. Here, a revered Buddhist teacher lived, guiding his disciples along the path of enlightenment. Among these disciples was one who was particularly fond of talking. He would chatter endlessly, gathering stories from the village while collecting donations, and would bring these tales back to share with the other disciples. This disciple was not just talkative. He had a habit of speaking ill of others, engaging in backbiting, and often tried to elevate himself in the eyes of the guru. He would boast about his wealthy upbringing, claiming that he had sacrificed a life of luxury to discover the truth of existence. He believed that his sacrifice was far greater than that of his fellow disciples. One day, the guru gathered all his disciples and spoke, "For the next month, each of you must take a resolution. This will test your willpower and strengthen your inner resolve. You may choose any resolution according to your ability, but remember, if you break it before the month is over, you will return to your old routine." The disciples, with varying levels of confidence, took their resolutions and went on their way. However, the talkative disciple, eager to prove his superiority, approached the guru directly. "Master," he said, "I do not wish to take a small resolution. I want to take a grand resolution, one that befits my capabilities. Please give me a challenge worthy of my strength." The guru smiled gently and replied, "Are you sure you can fulfill the resolution I give you? It may be more difficult than you think." Without hesitation, the disciple replied, "Gurudev, whatever resolution you give, I will surely fulfill it." The guru looked at him with a knowing gaze and said, "Very well. For the next month, you shall remain silent. Not a single word should escape your lips. This will be your resolution." Surprised by the simplicity of the task, the disciple laughed and said, "Gurudev, is this truly a resolution? This is too easy for someone like me. Give me something more challenging." The guru, maintaining his serene smile, responded, "First, fulfill this resolution, and then we shall see." The disciple, confident in his abilities, bowed and left the guru's cottage, immediately beginning his vow of silence. The first day passed effortlessly, but by the second day, he began to feel the weight of his silence. By the third day, his mind was filled with unease, and on the fourth day, he was consumed by a strange discomfort. All around him, his fellow disciples were engaged in conversation, and he longed to join them, to share his thoughts and opinions. But his resolution held him back, and so he remained silent, communicating only through his eyes and gestures. As the days dragged on, the burden of silence grew heavier. He began to feel physically ill, his head pounding with the effort of holding back his words. He couldn't eat or drink, his only desire being to speak. Desperate, he went to the guru, writing on a piece of parchment, "Gurudev, I cannot bear this silence any longer. I feel like I'm suffocating. Please, allow me to speak. I'm going mad." The guru, reading the disciple's plea, smiled and said, "Resolutions are made to test your strength, and those who fulfill them increase their inner power. If you cannot complete this small resolution, how will you handle the greater challenges of life? The choice is yours. Either continue with your vow or return to your old ways." These words struck deep into the disciple's heart. Determined not to fail, he returned to his hut and shut himself away, emerging only when necessary. Days turned into weeks, and by the 15th day, most of the other disciples had broken their resolutions. But this disciple remained silent, not uttering a single word. His silence was met with surprise and admiration from the others in the ashram. How had this talkative man managed to remain so quiet? They marveled at his newfound restraint, yet he struggled internally. On the 15th day, he approached the guru once more, writing, "Gurudev, I have remained silent outwardly, but inside my mind is noisy. I am filled with questions and complaints. Does this mean I am still keeping my resolution?" The guru replied, "Yes, your resolution remains unbroken, but as long as the voices of others reach your ears, your mind will continue to chatter. You may be silent externally, but internally, Your mind is still speaking. You must distance yourself from these distractions and find true peace within. Taking the guru's words to heart, the disciple left the hermitage at dawn and ventured into the forest, seeking solitude. Days turned into weeks, and the time for the resolution passed, yet the disciple did not return. Concerned, the other disciples feared that he might have been harmed by a wild animal. They searched for him but found no trace. The guru, however, remained calm, telling them, perhaps he found what he was seeking, or perhaps the animals took him. Either way, it is his journey. 3 months passed without any news of the disciple. The others had all but given up hope when one day he returned to the ashram. His appearance had changed. There was a serenity about him, a deep peace in his eyes. The disciples gathered around him, eager to hear his story, but they noticed that he spoke differently, slowly, thoughtfully, with a softness that was new. After exchanging greetings with his guru brothers, he went to the guru and asked, "Gurudev, am I still silent? Is my resolution still intact?" The guru looked deeply into the disciple's eyes and said, "Yes, you are still silent. Your resolution is still intact." The disciple then shared his journey. "When I first left the ashram, I was silent outwardly, but inside, my mind was a storm of thoughts. The more I sought solitude, the louder these inner voices became. I realized how wrong I had been when I spoke ill of others, when I boasted and criticized. In the solitude of the forest, I was forced to confront these voices, to listen to the echo of my own thoughts. Gradually, these voices began to fade, and true silence filled me. For the first time, I understood the real meaning of silence. I could hear the wind, the birds, the water, all with a clarity I had never experienced before. And in that moment of pure silence, I found peace. Now, even when I speak, I am silent within. I am in the world, but I am no longer of it." The guru nodded. "As long as we speak outwardly, there will be unrest within. But when we turn inward, our words become few, and our inner world becomes calm. Most of the suffering in the world comes from our need to speak, to be heard, to prove ourselves right. But true wisdom lies in knowing when to remain silent. Silence allows us to conserve our energy, to turn our attention inward, and to discover the depths of our own being. Those who master the art of silence can live in peace, whether in solitude or in the midst of the world. The lesson of this tale is clear. Speaking too much is a waste of energy. When we focus on unnecessary chatter, we are pulled outward, away from our true selves. But when we embrace silence, we turn inward, where true peace resides. All the enlightened ones, the Buddhas who attained nirvana, sought solitude, not because they rejected the world, but because they understood that true silence is the path to inner awakening. In silence, we find our true selves. In silence, we discover the mysteries of life. This is the power of silence, a power that transforms from within. I hope you found this story enlightening and filled with wisdom. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your time and stay connected for more inspiring content.